Because you're all minorities. You're in the Glee Club.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things on Glee that wouldn't work today.
Well, I don't want to kiss a girl who's got puke on her breath.
Bisexual is a term that gay guys in high school use when they want to hold hands with girls and feel like a normal person for a change.
Sexy teen imbeciles.
For this list, we'll be looking at aspects of the musical comedy drama that were problematic at the time, but would cause even more controversy and backlash if they had first aired today. Which of these Glee moments has aged the worst? Tell us in the comments. If you like what you're hearing, be sure to check out the full song at the link below.
So much joy. I'm so I'm being here with all these people.
Number 10. How Figgins describes certain students. On more than one occasion, Principal Figgins has made comments about the attractiveness of some of McKinley's female students.
Sexy teen imbeciles.
He called Brittany sexy and described Unique to Sue as an attractive, buxom young woman.
Sue, I don't understand. Unique Adams is nothing more than an attractive, buxom young woman who's got it going on in all the right places. She's a brick house, Sue.
No principal or teacher should ever be thinking of their students in that context. But especially in the wake of the recent Me Too movement, comments like these would never be tolerated. Add in the fact that Figgins was only attracted to Unique so the writers could make a joke about him being shocked to find out she's transgender, and the whole scene feels incredibly creepy and offensive.
Principal Figgins, Sue's right about that. Unique is definitely a guy.
What?
Number 9. The Biphobia.
Wait a second, why'd you say yes?
You can't lead her on.
She says I'm leading her on.
The LGBTQ+ representation on Glee was hit or miss, but in regards to bisexuality, it was definitely a miss. When Blaine is questioning his sexuality due to a kiss he shared with Rachel, Kurt basically tells him bisexuality doesn't exist.
I can't believe that I'm hearing this
Maybe
right
I'm
now.
bi. I don't know.
Bisexual is a term that gay guys in high school use when they want to hold hands with girls and feel like a normal person for a change.
Later in the series, Santana says she's glad that her new girlfriend isn't bi like Brittany, so she doesn't have to worry about her girlfriend leaving her for a man.
And I finally have a girlfriend who I don't have to worry about straying for penis.
This implies a harmful stereotype that bisexual people are promiscuous and unfaithful. Glee had a lot of young viewers of various sexual identities who all deserve to be represented in a respectful and non-stereotypical way, but it seems like the writers weren't quite up to that challenge at the time. Number 8. Inappropriate Relationships.
Oh my gosh, Sam, calm down.
There were plenty of other students that the young teenagers of Glee could have gotten involved with romantically. Why did they ever have to get paired up with their teachers or any other adult authority figure?
You know, the advantage of a relationship with a younger dude is that I still got 4 more rounds in me before I need a steak sandwich and a Coke Zero.
There was Puck and Shelby, Sam and the school nurse Penny, as well as Rachel's awkward flirting with Mr. Shu that went a little too far.
Young girl, you're out of your mind. Your love for me is way out of line.
Then there was April Rhodes, who was around the same age as Mr. Shu and actively pursuing a relationship with multiple high school students. Even if some of the students were over 18, there's still an imbalance of power and maturity level in these kinds of relationships that makes them really inappropriate to put in a show targeted to an audience of teenagers.
Don't tickle me.
Number 7. Making fun of Brittany's breakdown.
Brittany S. Pierce, what do you say to reports you've gone off the rails?
Leave me alone, JVI.
What's going on in your head right now?
Leave me alone, JVI.
Glee's second Britney Spears tribute episode parodies Spears' series of psychiatric breakdowns in 2007, with Glee's Britney attacking photographers with an umbrella and lazily lip-syncing during a performance of Gimme More.
Feels like the crowd is saying, give me more, give me more.
This behavior was caused by Britney getting kicked off the Cheerios, but the real Britney Spears had been dealing with serious mental health issues and challenges in her personal life. It wasn't at all appropriate for Glee to highlight and mock an artist's darkest and most vulnerable moments in what was supposed to be a tribute to her and her music. With the current Free Britney movement, people are very critical of how Spears' mental health has been handled in the past and present, and an episode like this would not be well received.
What do you have to say for yourself, Brittany?
To quote the legend herself, if I met me, I would say a quick hello and then think I was a really nice girl.
Number 6. The handling of Marley's eating disorder.
Marley, stop! Why are you doing that?
In season 4, Marley develops an eating disorder, partially because of Kitty constantly body shaming her and even altering her costumes to trick her into thinking she's gained weight. At one point, Ryder walks in on her purging, but instead of getting help, he tries to get her to stop by saying he doesn't want to kiss a girl with puke on her breath.
I would never use laxatives.
Well, I don't want to kiss a girl who's got puke on her breath.
Later, Marley passes out at sectionals, and she feels so guilty she apologizes to everyone.
Never in the history of show choir competitions has anyone ever fainted.
When Marley finally does get help, she seems to recover unbelievably quickly, and her eating disorder is not mentioned again. Overall, the situation was handled very poorly, and clumsily for how serious the issue they tried to address is.
I'm really sorry, Finn.
I don't.
No, I mean it. You're being so nice about this, but it's my fault.
Number 5, a disabled character played by an abled actor.
I'm tired of everybody pitying me, and I'm tired of being in this damn chair.
Glee clearly tried to make their characters as diverse a group as possible, but they could have worked harder to extend that diversity to the actors playing these characters as well. Artie was in a wheelchair for the entire series, but he was played by an abled actor, which took away the opportunity for a disabled actor to play the role. Sure, there were a few dream sequences in which Artie was able to get up and dance, but the exclusion of these dance numbers would have been worth it for the added authenticity that a disabled actor could have brought to the role. Kevin McHale is talented and plays the role well, but Artie's casting would have likely caused more backlash today.
Tina, look. Can you believe it?
Number 4, Sue blackmails Figgins. When Sue gets suspended from her position at McKinley, she decides that the best way to get back to work is to slip Principal Figgins a date rape drug so she can blackmail him with a photo of them in bed together.
So there's no way I'm letting you back into that school.
Mind flagging down that waiter? We had a very frank and healing discussion.
Of course, Sue is an antagonist on the show and isn't supposed to be any sort of role model, but this behavior was especially evil and vindictive for her.
So here's what's gonna happen. As of right now, I am reinstated, or I will tell your wife and the entire congregation of the Cornerstone Bible Way Church of our sexual congress.
The scene feels like a joke at the expense of male sexual assault victims who are constantly seeing their most traumatic experiences mocked and belittled in the media. Those kinds of jokes weren't funny when this episode first aired, and they definitely wouldn't be acceptable today.
Smile.
Number 3, a trans character being played by a cis woman.
It is my assessment that patient Shannon Beast meets all the necessary criteria for a diagnosis of gender dysphoria.
In season 6 of Glee, Coach Beast comes out as transgender and changes names from Shannon to Sheldon. Glee never had the best trans representation, judging by how often Unique was misgendered and singled out as a trans woman. But Beast's transition was even more problematic. It was a decision reportedly made late in the series, and as such, contradicted the point of Beast's character originally being a woman that did not want or need to conform to traditionally feminine gender stereotypes.
I know I can be a little intimidating sometimes, but deep down inside where no one can see, just a girl.
If they had intended for Sheldon to be a transgender character from the beginning, they also shouldn't have cast a cisgender woman to play him, and instead should have given the opportunity to a trans actor.
This letter is my first step into legally transitioning from a woman to a man.
Number 2, Sue's casual racism and homophobia.
Santana, Wheels, gay kid. Come on, move it. Asian, other Asian. Aretha, and Shaft.
Sue had a lot of funny and clever insults on Glee, but they weren't all so lighthearted and enjoyable.
Not gonna happen, Dragon Lady.
Oh, you'll do as you're told, he/she.
Sprinkled in between jokes about Will's hair or the Glee Club's obsession with show tunes are insults based on the race or sexual orientation of whoever Sue's target is at the moment.
What are blouses? A blouse is a breezy femi top. It's a term I coined for my favorite type of gay.
In other scenes, Sue is an outspoken advocate for minorities and stands up for those being genuinely mistreated. This makes these random insults based on race and sexuality feel especially bizarre and out of character.
Do I get a supervillain nickname?
Your nickname is Panda Express.
But I'm not Chinese.
Neither is the food at Panda Express.
It's clear that the writers were perfectly capable of giving Sue witty lines that didn't target people for things out of their control, so the more offensive insults should have just been cut. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Mr. Shu says being in Glee Club makes you a minority.
Because you're all minorities. You're in the Glee Club. Now, there are only 12 of you, and all you have is each other.
Mr. Shu encourages underage students to twerk.
You call it twerking? I call it dance porn.
Well, that is exactly what people once said about an outrageous new dance called the waltz.
Rachel being shamed for wanting to do a topless scene.
I'm just hoping that the admissions department at NIADA see it as a sign of my artistic, rebellious attitude.
Sam stripping as a teenager.
Let's give a warm welcome to White Chocolate.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, the representation of minorities.
Well, I'm a human prop, and I'm sick of it.
Take a lap and cool down, Asian number 1.
My name is Tina. Tina Cohen Chang.
As previously mentioned, Glee really tried to create a diverse cast of characters for the series, but it often fell short in developing these characters in a non-stereotypical way.
Got an A- Tina.
Got an Asian F.
Mercedes became the sassy black woman who barely got a chance to shine unless she was belting out the last high note of a big group number.
Mercedes, it'll be a pleasure sharing the spotlight with you.
Mike obsessed over his grades to appease his Asian parents, and Santana was a hot-headed and hypersexualized Latina.
And Santana loses it.
All of these characters had to speak up for a chance at being in the spotlight, because the default for solos and lead roles was always one of the more well-developed white characters like Rachel or Finn.
Why is it that no one ever wants to hurt her feelings? You know, it's always been the Rachel Berry show around here, but it's not gonna be for me.
It's unfortunate that Glee had so many opportunities for interesting and diverse characters that they didn't take.
Do you agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you're a fan of the song playing right now, be sure to check out the music video for it right here.
Don't leave